presence of God is within me. I am whole and all is well. Now notice that affirmation ends with a period, as in period, the end. That's all there is. Everything that we need to know. It's all right already. Now do we not locate our good in the future? Right? I'm certainly guilty of this. You might think, well, when this changes, when I get that perfect job, I'll be all right. Or when I accomplish this thing, and then I'll be all right. When I get through this, then things will be okay. Right? We humans seem to be strangely uncomfortable when everything's okay. Have you ever noticed that? There's even a movie trope about this. You know, you've seen this on TV shows and movies, and two characters are there, and one of them says kind of mysteriously, "Listen, do you hear that?" And the other one says very innocently, "I don't hear anything." And the first one says, "Exactly." Which means we know in the audience something is wrong. It's too quiet. Things aren't supposed to be this peaceful. Danger is lurking somewhere. You know, something's about to go down when you hear that in a movie or a TV show. We seem to be much better at looking for what's wrong than in resting in what's right. Nothing is wrong. Let's say it again. Nothing is wrong. Nothing needs fixing. Nothing requires our attention. And somehow, that in itself makes us suspicious. Even spiritually, I'll be okay when I become more peaceful. Right? I'll be okay when I get better at meditation. I'll be okay when I finally let go of this or that resentment that I'm carrying. I'll be okay when I become more spiritually mature somehow. I remember Pema Chodron, I've shared this before, saying that if we look at ourselves in that way, we're kind of attacking the person who we are today, right? What if we stop doing that and let everything be all right now? We have a remarkable ability to postpone our wholeness into some future time. The master teacher, when asked when this kingdom of God was coming, the centerpiece of the teachings, asked by the religious authorities of his time and place. I like to refer them as the scroll thumpers. The scroll thumpers of the ancient Near East. Pharisees, scribes asking Jesus when this kingdom of God was coming. They asked when. In his reply, in his masterful way, he essentially refutes the premise of their question. The kingdom isn't something that you're supposed to stand around waiting for and watching for. The text reads, "For in fact, the kingdom of God is among you," or it has been translated as within you. That's an interesting phrase in there, by the way. You know, in the King James, it says the kingdom of God is within you. I like to joke, when do you hear unity ministers stand up here quoting the King James and saying, this is literally true? Well, that's when we do it. We like that. The kingdom of God is within you. But that phrase in the Greek that the Bible is written is entos humon. Entos clearly means within. It's used in other places to mean within. But here's what's fun about it. If you're sort of Bible nerdy, like I can be, what's fun about it is that humon means you, but it's plural. It's not singular. It's plural. It's like y'all. Here in the South, we have second person plural, y'all. So it's saying the kingdom of God is within y'all. Which, now I get why they might say, well, among you. It is within us as a community. It is a present reality. It is right here for us to become aware of, to wake up to notice, and to begin to live from. Jesus isn't describing my own little private, internal, me-only kingdom, in my opinion. He's saying the reality we're waiting for is already here, in us, among us, in the life that we share together as a community. It's everywhere always, just as God is, right here, right now. There is no other way. So maybe we stop looking for the kingdom as though it were somewhere or sometime else. Now, I understand that this kingdom of God, this mysterious teaching, can sound like it's a place that we might go. It must be somewhere else, because we've all looked around the world and said, it's not here, right? So it must be somewhere else. Hence that idea that this happens someplace else, sometime else. But the text talks about the kingdom as a present reality. So what is it? From a unity perspective, the kingdom is the reality of God, the reality of love, life, wisdom, peace, abundance, present here and now, and available to our consciousness always. It's been said it's closer to us than we are to ourselves. Not a geographical place, not later, not God fixing everything so it's to my liking, but a present reality to become aware of. In a very real sense, God is presence, with a capital P. Our second principle takes this extraordinary step. The divine presence isn't merely around us, it is within us, because our second principle starts with these words: our essence is of God. That is a very bold statement. So if I'm searching for love, for wisdom, for strength, peace, guidance, my first movement isn't outward. It's not outside of myself, but rather I turn within. And when I find this kingdom, stumble upon it more realistically, everything is all right already. I have that realization. I have that experience. My vision shifts. I see in an entirely new way. Perhaps this is why in the text we often hear the master teacher saying things like, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. If you can perceive this, it's right here. You don't have to go get it. You have to become aware of it. I think that's why, I think it was Ken Wilber that said, this kind of awakening, whatever we may choose to call it, is an accident. And meditation makes us accident prone. Right? The more time we're willing to spend returning over and over to the stillness that is within us. Deb used the phrase, to the no thing, to the nothing that is everything. The more we're willing to do that, the more likely it is that we're all of a sudden at some point going to fall in this hole and everything will change. Everything will change. And what's truly weird about it, I think, is that in a sense, nothing changed at all. My mind has got the same mind patterns that it always has. But also, at the same time, everything changed. Everything changed. Oh boy. All right, so you may ask, but what about everything we see in the world around us that is clearly not all right? Right, I know that we've been challenged in that way from others who don't quite see how we do when we say that everything is perfect right here and right now. And they want to say, have you watched the news anytime recently? It's like, yeah, I get that. There are circumstances that aren't what I would call okay out there. The way that people treat each other, not okay all over the place all the time. War isn't all right. Violence is not all right. Right? Injustice is not all right. A frightening medical diagnosis, that'll set you back. I don't know anyone that would say, yay, to that at first. And even death of a loved one, we think, how could this be all right? Edwin Gaines passed away last week. Ouch. Ow, that hurt my heart. But everything's all right. Edwin smacked me on the side of the head if she thought that I was going to sit here and mope about that, would she not? She absolutely would. So when we say it's all right already, it doesn't mean that every circumstance is as we would like it to be. right? It's not to our liking. It means something far deeper than that. When I awaken to this presence, capital P, when I awaken to this presence that already is, I discover a wholeness that circumstances cannot give me, and circumstances cannot take from me. That lets us say, all is well, without saying everything that is happening is okay with me. Those are quite different claims. All is well because the kingdom is present within us right here and now. In the middle of all the dysfunction that we perceive in this world, the lived experience of God's presence dissolves the illusion of separation. It dissolves any fear, any and all worry, any sense of lack, the whole mistaken consciousness that tells us that something outside ourselves must change before we can be whole, right? Before we can be okay. Now, the spiritual practice that makes us accident prone, right, is at its core noticing, right? For me, meditation is at its core a practice of noticing. It's a practice of awareness. Right? It's not a practice of doing, although there are steps, if we were to describe, and we'll do it in a minute, about meditation. Okay, I never heard of that. What do? I can tell you some things. Do this, think this, it like this, focus your awareness here. But it's about noticing, not about doing. You've heard that phrase, I should get this shirt made. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. Don't just do something, sit there. Right? Because that's often exactly what is called for. As we're running around trying to figure out what do I need to change outside of myself to be okay, the Spirit is saying, what are you doing? Where are you going? It's right here, right now. It's all right already. The moment you realize that it is. So our spiritual work is not bringing God into our lives, right? It's noticing that God is already everywhere, always within us. God is the no thing, the nothing that is everything. Where is love here? We might ask ourselves. So let us assume for a minute this is true, that we can't quite see it. We have an open invitation to have eyes that see and ears that hear. But where is this love? This wisdom, peace, possibility that I haven't seen? What is mine to do? These are open questions that we can ask ourselves in combination with our ongoing practice of noticing that says in a way, and I do have Edwene on my mind a lot today because Deb also has worked with Edwene, walked on fire, as she said. What is mine to do? As if we could say, all right, Spirit, I'm ready. I'm ready. Show me. I'm giving it up. I'm firing myself as the director of my life. I've done that at least 5 times today. I'm going to get out of my own way so I can let God be God in me and know to the very core of my being, know that all is well, regardless of circumstances. That's what is mine to do. So now I'm going to close with this. Now, maybe Deb's opening line in that song, everything I need, I have, means something different than it did before. Not because I own every possession I can think of that I think might be cool to have. Not because nothing challenging is happening in my life. That's not true. There's always something I can get stuck on. There's always a challenge. I can make you a list. You can make me a list of all the things in your life that are challenging you. But because the kingdom of God is right here and now, the moment that we realize it is. The truth is that when we live from and within the divine presence, we are unassailable. Unassailable. That saying, nothing real can be threatened, comes to mind. Nothing can be taken from us. We are whole and complete, and all is well, no matter what. No matter what.